Good morning, MR2 familiar. So thought I'd make a little quick video. Some time back I put new headlight bulbs in the MR2, a little bit brighter than your bog standard ones, so I could actually see the road. Thing is, some time back one of them went and I didn't have any spares, so I just chucked in one of the original ones that I'd kept. Trouble is, it's been irritating me for ages. I've now got a very yellowy bulb and a very bright white one, so I was rummaging about in the garage today. I'm not sure when I bought them, but I've got these HID xenon white bulbs, so I thought, well, they're a matching pair, they're brand new, and I guess some of us could do with knowing how to change these headlight bulbs. So I'm going to kind of wing it because it's been a while since I've done it myself, so I might waffle a little, but it may be of some help to some of you. So the plan is to pop these in. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so if I pop the headlights up, you'll see what I was saying about. So I'm not sure how well it shows on here, but I have quite a white one and the old OEM kind of yellowy one, and so we'll get this sorted out. Put those down there. Love pop-ups. Okay, so first things first, turn your lights to position 1. That's like side lights. Then pull your stick back as if you're flashing, and your lights will pop up. I'm going to assume that you know just down here is your bonnet pull. Now the next thing we've got to do to stop these automatically clamping down on your fingers, we're going to take out the fuse for the motors. It's a 30 amp fuse, it's green. Take the cover off, and I'm going to bring you over to have a look. Okay, now some of you astute people will notice that where my 30 amp fuse should be, just second from the top there, I actually got a little bit of wiring in here. Those of you with a Sleepy Eye kit are going to know what that's for. There's a switch inside where I can raise the lights to whatever position I want and keep them there. But just assume there's a green 30 amp fuse there. Pull that out, pop it somewhere safe so you don't lose it. I'm just going to turn off my Sleepy Eye kit, but it does the same thing. It's just to isolate the motors while we're working on it. Okay, so first thing we need to do is to remove the plastic shroud. You're going to need a Phillips screwdriver, crosshead as some of you may call it. First things first, we take these two on this side out. I hope you can see this okay. Keep them somewhere safe. I'm going to pop them into my fuse tray and keep it up there so we don't lose them. Don't over tighten these screws because they only go into little plastic retainers, and they can get a little bit on the loose side, but it's just to hold it there. It doesn't have to be tight. We have two this side, same position. All we do is just gently pull it forward, tilt it and lift it out. Put these somewhere safe because these are going to be quite hard to get if you damage yours. And this leaves us the main unit. We're going to undo some screws around this little metal plate here, which will allow the lens to tip forward and we can get to the bulb behind. Please do make sure that you've isolated these. if you put some pressure on them or whatever, they can go down and trap your fingers. And since we've got a coronavirus going about, I doubt your neighbours are going to get within 2 meters of you to help get your fingers out. Okay, so just in the top here, there's one screw. Be very careful not to lose it down inside, so hold it as you take it out. Bring it out very gently. Yep. These are different to the other first screws. These ones are rather small in comparison. The other ones have a little washer on them, so you're not going to mix them up. We'll undo the second one here. Careful not to drop it. Sometimes it's worth getting a magnet or an old speaker and just rub on your screwdriver so it's magnetized. This will help the screw to stick on to the end. A little tip there, help avoid losing those down in there. So now we have two underneath. One is here, one is here. Hold this in because you don't want your light to fall out and damage your paint. A little bit trickier, this one. There we go. Okay, again, just nip the screw between your thumb and index finger as you're drawing it out. There we go. And the fourth one. A bit tricky to get to. Might be worth putting a bit of rag over your paintwork here, because metal screwdriver could make a mark. This time I'm gonna pull it forward with that metal shroud. This one's a little bit trickier. Oh, come on. Got it. Oh, there's a fiddly one. Okay, managed to get it out. So just so you can see the position, there's four. The bottom is the wider pair. Okay, so we're going to put that safe. And I'm just going to pause the video for a minute, put a little bit of rag there before I tip the headlight on there. So bear with me, I'm coming. Okay, I'm back. So I'm going to use a chamois leather. I'm actually going to put it right underneath the light. So if I do happen to drop one of these fiddly screws, it's going to get caught in there. And I'm also protecting my paintwork. Okay, so what we have now is we've pulled off our plug, 3-pin plug, and you'll see this spring clip here. Press it down, bring it across and let it up like so. Take your bulb out. Don't not all bulbs are sensitive when you touch them. Halogens in particular are. So really, ultimately, it's best never to touch the glass. If you do have to, use a bit of tissue or something. I'm going to keep this bulb because it could get me out of trouble one day. So I'm going to just pop that in the pack. I'm going to take my nice sexy blue one. Drop that in there. It's only going to fit one way. The 3 tabs, the top tab is going to be in at the top of the light. So now bring that over, drop it in either side of the bulb, press your little loop into the hole, bring it across and let it up, and that's locked in place now. It's not going to go anywhere. Now the one thing you're probably going to do is to forget to put this rubber back on, which I may or may not have done off camera earlier, but we won't go there. So we'll pop that on, It says top on it. The writing shows you which is the top, and that's lovely. That's in there. It's going to seal, keep water out. So we tilt it over, clip our plug on. You can see it with shades on. Just about there, a little bit fiddly. There we go, snapped on. Make sure your rubber's on properly and pop that roughly in place. Hold your finger on it. Like I say, next bit is going to be this metal retaining piece. It's got 4 holes. The 2 at the bottom are going to be wider apart than the top, so you'll get it the right way round. Pop it over your lamp and just get it roughly in position. Yep, like so. Get your screws back in. Like I say, magnetising your screwdriver would help a lot. Don't do it all the way up, just get it roughly in place. We'll tighten it up when they're all in. Okay. This is fiddly. I ain't gonna lie. There we go. Like I say, if I'd magnetised the screwdriver, I could just sit the screw on the top and guide it into place, but I haven't, so we're doing this the hard way. It's roughly nipped up. 3rd screw. The bottom ones are tricky, so I've put this in case I drop it, which there's a good chance of doing. Go. Okay, not quite tight until we get them all in position. These are fiddly little screws. I'm on the verge of losing this one. Okay, try again. Hold it in place. And nip them up. You don't have to over tighten these, just nip them so they don't come out. Lovely, no disasters so far. I'm just going to quickly try this light just to be sure. Make sure I've got the plug on. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so we have success there. Now our plastic shroud, pop it in at the bottom first and just tilt it into place like so. I'll take this out of the way. I probably should have done that first. Okay. In at the bottom, tipping back, it'll sit on a clip about there. Just line it up, beautiful. First screw, second screw, somewhere there. Yep. Just give them a few turns, get all 4 in before you tighten them, because maybe a little bit off centre. Lovely, they're all in, so we can tighten them up. Don't over tighten these, they only need to just, see that one doesn't even really tighten much, but it won't come out. Just a little nip, nothing too tight. Yep. That's it, bingo. That's how you do it. That's one of them. So I'm going to pause and then shift over and do this side. Okay. Okay, so here we are. We're going to do the second light now. Just pop them out the way. So 2 screws on this side of the shroud. They won't be too tight. Okay, that's number 3. 4. Out the way. So, like I say, tip this forwards. Oh, I lost my screws. Yeah, tip it forward, tilt it out. Right, so same thing, 2 at the top, 2 down here, but the Y's, we'll use a big piece of cloth or something, just in case we drop a screw in there. It may or may not go all the way through. Chances are it won't. So bring that right in. Make yourself a little pocket in there, just in case we lose a screw. I'm going to do the bottom ones first because they are the tricky ones. Very fiddly. One. 2. Hold your light because it's going to want to drop. 3. Hold your light, you don't want it dropping. Probably pull this screw out with that rim. Gentle. See? Like I say, the wide ones at the bottom, the narrow ones at the top. Put that somewhere. And your light will just come forwards. Pull your plug off if it wants to come off. Yes. And take your rubber off. Don't forget to put your rubber back on. Same thing, press your tab across and let it up. Bulb out, don't be touching it. New bulb in, only fits one way. Tab either side, press down and across, we're snapped in. Rubber, don't forget your rubber. Plug on. I'm just going to try that. Yes, good. So, our metal rim. roughly into place. First screw. That's the wrong screw. Okay. Like I say, don't fully nip them up, because there's a bit of movement, you might not get one of your screw holes. Next screw. Quite tighten it, you may need that movement. Okay, these bottom ones are fiddly, there's no denying. Roughly in place. And the fourth screw. Yep, we can just jiggle it, make sure it's in position before we tighten them all. Don't over tighten these, just nip it up firm, as if you cross thread them, and they may do quite easily. So now it's the shroud. Take your cloth out of the way. Tip it in at the bottom. Twist it up into place. Lovely. Just give them a couple of turns so they don't fall out. Get them all lined up before you tighten it. Sometimes these don't really tighten. They're not great, but the shroud doesn't need to be torqued down or anything, and you don't want to over tighten these and crack your shroud anyway. So little tighten there. That's it. So that's how we do the lights. Let's just check them. Beautiful. Let me move you back so you can see they match now. Yeah, much better than before. And we can pop our fuse back in. I'll bring you over. So like I say, I've got a Sleepy Eye kit, which basically is an inline switch, so I can turn this on and off. I have a fuse, inline fuse further along, but it'll be a second one down, the green 30 amp, so pop that back in. Cover back on, and we're good to go. Job done. Okay, so that's it. That's how we change headlight bulbs in an sw20 MR2. So all it remains to do is close the lid. Just so. Okay. Test. All good. All good. Job done. Okay, so if you have any questions, get in touch with us on Facebook. There's several MR2 groups and the entire community will help you out. Okay, so, viva familia.